and welcome back to Cricket Adda presents Stumped, cricket's hot topics powered by the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019 app. And in our first episode of Stumped, we're going to be reviewing the first week of the ICC Cricket World Cup and also giving our predictions for the
for the
next
second week of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. So it's up and running, isn't it? The 2019 World Cup. First of all, we'll talk about a few trends which we are seeing in this World Cup. First of all, before the World Cup started, all the talk was about 320, 330, 350, and suddenly we are seeing 250, 280 scores being scored as well as defended. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so obviously, it's World Cup is back, and we're seeing a few trends. This is one of the trends because I think the pitches have something to offer the bowlers. I think the fast bowling also has been pretty good. Finger spinners have also been.
That's another point which you would like to add here. Finger spinners have been absolutely brilliant. All the talk was about the wrist spinners, Adil Rashid, Adam Zampa, Yuzvendra Chahal, but who have taken the limelight? It's Shakib Al Hasan, Mehdi Hassan, and Mohammad Nabi, who picked up 4 wickets against Sri Lanka. That was a really good over there where he picked up 3 wickets in 1 over. What are the finger spinners doing that they are getting so many wickets, or is it just that the batsmen are taking them lightly?
Yeah, that is one thing that the batsmen are taking them lightly, but I think they're sticking to their plan, bowling on the right lines,
Keeping it tight,
keeping
which
it
is
tight.
really important on these kind of
Yeah,
wickets.
and then sometimes they are finger spinners, so the ball is going to turn. So when the ball turns, then they have they offer a threat to they offer a threat. So that is one positive for the finger spinners. Another good thing about finger spinners is that they also have their there are players that who can bat as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just how leg spinners. You talk about Mujib, we talk about Rashid, and not Rashid, but Mujib, Chahal, Kuldeep. These guys are very
Most of the wrist spinners don't bat well.
One-dimensional
the finger
players.
spinners. We forgot to mention Moeen Ali as well. He picked up 3 wickets against Pakistan. Talking about England, they were the favourites before the World Cup and they have lost to Pakistan. Not that they played really badly, but does this loss give a dent to their confidence, or still they will be up there and still they will be up at the top once the league stage ends?
Yeah, so obviously England are the favorites. Even they knew that they were the favorites. All the talk was about England. They're gonna win the World Cup in their own home. They have the highest chance. They've been the best team over a few years. So they've prepared well. But then they had a good win against South Africa as well. But then Pakistan just came back, and I think you can say that they will bounce back. Obviously,
they play their next game against Bangladesh, so that's an easy opposition. Probably more easier than other opposition. So you expect England to make a comeback and come back strongly. So
obviously, I think they will make. You can call it a one-off, maybe. Their bowling should have been better.
Fielding should have been better. They were a bit sloppy against Pakistan
because they have the batting, to
definitely
chase those 300, more than 350 scores. But the bowling was a bit under par, you can say.
One of the talking points of this World Cup is South Africa, how they are losing the games. But more than that, they have not only lost the games, but they have lost players to injuries. One of them being Dale Steyn, who has been ruled out of the World Cup. How big a loss it is, and how unfortunate it is for a player like Dale Steyn, who was going to play his last World Cup this year.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. You can see the last match. They didn't have enough fast bowlers. That's why they have to play a spinner. That's just very sad to see for such a big team. South African team, always favorites to win the World Cup, always have a strong team. But this time, it's just been downhill for them. Of losing 3 big matches against India as well.
Bangladesh
last match,
and
Bangladesh,
England. So they have lost their 3 in.
But they are still in the World
competition.
Cup. They are still. You can't rule them out. Yeah, they've called a few fast bowlers. They've called
Baron Hendricks, the left armer, might bring in something new. hasn't played much international cricket, but he will be a bowler to watch out for in this World Cup if he gets a chance. Now, let's move on to the top three performers of this week. Who are the top three performers for you?
So obviously obviously you have to give credit to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, New and Pradeep especially
Pradeep,
against Afghanistan. I thought 187 wasn't the score. Afghanistan would chase it down. Suddenly Pradeep comes in, was an inspired spell and gets four wickets and Afghanistan were
I think he should be the top performer because before the match, it was kind of 50-50. You would maybe lean towards Afghanistan, seeing Sri Lanka's form, their team as well. And they collapsed in that while batting. They had got a good score, but then the way they collapsed was absolutely unfortunate for them. And then the way Nuwan Pradeep bowled, Afghanistan looked like this is going to be an easy chase. But then the way he bowled, that was absolutely super.
Yeah, talking about another top performer, it has to be Yuzvendra Chahal for India. Picked up 4 wickets, picked up wickets in the middle overs, which is as important as it gets in this World Cup. We have seen if you don't pick up wickets in the middle overs, the scores of 300, 320, 330 are still pretty much possible. So Yuzvendra Chahal absolutely brilliant. And another top performer from West Indies is O'Shane Thomas, picking up 4 wickets once again. The bowlers are ruling this World Cup. At the moment, we might see batsmen coming in. We have seen some centuries from Joe Root, Rohit Sharma, Joss Butler, but not many centuries.
Yeah, I think because of the pitches, the main thing, the bowlers are coming into the action. The pitches are more, they're swinging more than expected, more greener. A lot of people expected there are going to be pitches 350, 400. People were talking about 500 being scored.
Yeah, but there was a lot of talk before the World Cup that this might be the World Cup where 500 will be scored. That doesn't look possible at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, because of the pitches, the way the bowlers are bowling as well. So it's going to be interesting the next week.
So before we predict, we have a special guest waiting for us. We'll move on to follow on cricket's Chinmay Vaidya, who has his 5 talking points for this week.
Nikhil, Shubham, thanks for having me on your show. My talking points for the first week of the World Cup are pretty simple. We'll start out with the results. New Zealand and Australia at the top of the table. I mean, it's been a pretty dominant performance from both in their first games, and in the second game had a little bit of trouble. New Zealand struggling to chase down that total against Bangladesh, lost some wickets in the process, and eventually got home over the line. And then Australia picked up some wickets at key times against the West Indies to defend maybe a 20, 25 runs short of what would be considered a par total on that ground. So New Zealand and Australia picking up right where they left off from the last World Cup and top of the table after the first week. So that's talking point number 1. Talking point number 2 has to be India. Rohit Sharma firing 100 in the first game after a very poor IPL campaign by his standards. Even though Mumbai Indians did win the IPL, Rohit Sharma himself did not have a great IPL campaign. We've discussed that at length at the follow-on podcast. And Rohit Sharma stepped up in a big-time game for India in that first game against a pretty desperate South Africa team, which leads me into talking point number 3, which is South Africa starting off 0-3. And we expected South Africa to struggle. Their schedule at the beginning was tough with England, Bangladesh, and India, but they were in situations where they could have won at least 2 of those games, and they struggled. The batsmen just weren't able to produce runs at the right time, and the bowlers have been bad in all situations. They gave up 300 against England. They gave up 300 against Bangladesh. And granted, a lot of teams give up 300 against England, but South Africa was unable to chase that down. What would be considered a 20 to 25 runs short of a par score on that ground for England as well. So South Africa's really struggled. And with the story coming out of AB de Villiers wanting back in ahead of the World Cup and South Africa management telling him, nah, we can't have you. That's a little bit concerning for me as far as the mentality of the camp goes and when they're leaking these things and why they're leaking them right now. So South Africa's in a tailspin. I don't anticipate them getting out of it. Talking point number 4 for me is a little bit of an interesting one. I think the spinners have not obviously had the level of success that the pace bowlers have had early, but you've seen guys like Yuzvendra Chahal. We've seen guys like Moeen Ali, Imran Tahir. they've taken wickets at key times. Adam Zampa has struck for Australia on multiple occasions, and in conditions that are favorable to fast bowlers, and we've seen that in the wicket tally, the spinners, specialist spinners, have also been very good as well. So that's something to monitor going forward. And talking point number 5 is just the 10-team World Cup. And a lot of people have mentioned, the 10-team World Cup was basically to guarantee 9 India matches. And that's, I think, becoming more and more evident. The narrative of we want more competitive games, and therefore we are eliminating some of these lesser teams that they feel are lesser teams is just BS. I mean, they want 9 India matches, and they got 9 India matches, but the quality of games have not been that great, even though this is supposedly the world's 10 best teams. And it just goes to show you that, at 14 and 16 teams, we can have competitive games and still have a World Cup and have a true World Cup feeling. So I think that's talking point number 5, which is going to be throughout the entire tournament. I think everyone is going to criticize this 10-team format. It was criticized before it was unveiled, and it's been criticized after it's unveiled because the results haven't backed up what the narrative was, and that it was going to be more competitive cricket. We've only got, in my count, 3 competitive games out of the 10 that are going to be played in this first week. So it's disheartening to see, but that's the way the ICC is moving forward, and we'll see if there are any changes. Right now, it looks like the next 2 World Cups are going to be 10 teams, and they're going to stick with that. And is there a way to balance getting a good number of India games to boost the revenue while also letting some of these smaller nations compete on the global stage? So that's talking point number 5.
Thank you very much, Chinmay, for joining us on our show. Moving on, we'll go to our predictions for next week's matches. A very entertaining first week. We'll start off this second week by match number 11, which is Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. Your predictions: who will win this match?
I would back Pakistan. Looking at their last game against England,
Yeah.
if they play anywhere close to that, they are going to win that game, because Sri Lanka are not at their best. Even though they won against Afghanistan, Pakistan should win this game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Pakistan will win. I think Sri Lanka will give a good challenge. They have played well. Beyond our expectations,
Yeah.
we were thinking they would finish last. They even might finish last, but they played well in their last match. So, but I still think Pakistan will win this match.
The matches on Saturday look pretty much one-sided, where England take on Bangladesh. So that's pretty much certain that England should win that, even though Bangladesh are performing well, but still England are pretty high on confidence, even though they lost their last game.
Yeah, again, Bangladesh are going to pose a threat. They will give good competition, but I think England will be too much. I think England will win this match.
Then New Zealand Afghanistan, I think that's a pretty straightforward match where New Zealand should win it.
Yeah, New Zealand should win it, but you can never say,
if Afghanistan spinners get going, then they might make it tough. The big game is on Sunday, where India take on the defending champions Australia.
Yeah.
That is going to be a tough contest. Who are you choosing there?
It's going to be tough. Australia, obviously, India played only one match. They've won their match against South Africa. It's at Oval, so the pitch tends to be a little bit. It's kind of even.
Yeah.
Both for batting and for
bowling.
Fast bowling is pretty good. Looking at Australia, they've performed well, but I think we have to back India here, being Indians, so we have to back our team. So I think I'll go with India.
Yeah, I think India might just go ahead against Australia with the spinners coming in.
Yeah.
So now moving on to the next game, we have South Africa taking on West Indies. South Africa must win game for them, and I'm expecting them to win that.
Yeah, even I think South Africa will win. They have to come back, and they will. I think they are a quality team. Don't rule them out. You've got Kagiso Rabada there. He's bowling really well. Last match against India.
Sensational.
Faf du Plessis needs to find his form back.
Digok needs to score runs. Amla needs to score runs.
Yeah.
Bangladesh taking on Sri Lanka on Tuesday. Bangladesh should win that game. The way Bangladesh are playing, Bangladesh should win that game. We will move on to the next game. Australia taking on Pakistan.
Over here, I think I'm going to go with an upset. I feel Pakistan might win this match. Australia, uh, they
So you
will.
are saying Australia might lose two in a row, one against India, one
Yeah,
against Pakistan.
I
That
feel.
would be interesting because Australia are pretty strong, are a pretty strong
Yeah,
side. But having said that, as you mentioned, there have been quite a few upsets in the
yeah,
first week. So don't be surprised if Pakistan upsets anybody because Pakistan
yeah.
can do anything on their day. India take on New Zealand in the next game. Once again, India.
Now this is going to be interesting because we struggle against New Zealand many times.
Yeah.
Trent Bolt, old
If we get
enemy.
some swing in that
Yeah,
game, it's at Nottingham Trent Bridge, so that's one of the flattest wickets in England.
yeah,
But still, if Trent Bolt can swing it up front, then the likes of Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan would be in trouble.
yeah. So
So you're backing New Zealand.
I think I'm still going to back India.
Yeah, India.
Because it's a flat pitch. Nottingham's a flat pitch. But you can never say. But I think I'll still go with India.
And then the final game of that week, England taking on West Indies. That would be a good game because
Yeah,
gun batting lineups on both the sides.
Yeah.
West Indies obviously have all the hitters, and then England as well have free flowing batsmen.
Yeah.
That would be a contest. That's at Southampton. So that would be a contest. Who are you backing? I think England should be backed once again.
yeah. England are the favorites in this match again. Um, yeah, I think I'll go with England. They should be able to win this match.
Yeah, so that's it for the second week. We
Yeah.
will be back in the second week to review it and give the preview of the third week. Before we go, special thanks to Chinmay Vaidya for joining us from Follow on Cricket. Check his website as well, www.followoncricket.com. They have some podcasts and articles going on it. And check out Cricket Adda as well. Check out our blog page as well, cricketadda.home.blog. That's it from Cricket Adda. That's it from Stumped. Thank you very much for joining us.
So thank you for watching our video. If you like, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep
on watching Cricket Adda
Yeah.
and stay tuned for the next episode. We will be back in the next week with Stumped Cricket's hot topics. Thank you.